Welcome to our farming program that gives you views and information about farming in this country. This time, we are taking you to Mukono district and in particular to Mwanyanjiri village that is located about 23 miles from Kampala along Kampala-Jinja highway. Mwanyanjiri is a model farmers village in Nakisonga sub-county in Mukono district where modern farming practices were introduced by the Poverty Alleviation Department PAD of the State House. The village has 215 households with a population of about 800 people. Indeed, Mwanyanjiri is a poor community with the low agricultural activities despite abundant rainfall, fairly good soils, and being near Kampala, the biggest market in Uganda. Mwanyanjiri community has been trained on the 5 pillars of PAD, and among those pillars, food security that was put in place to fight hunger and poverty. And in order to fight hunger and speed up income generation, the farmers who quickly embraced the Poverty Alleviation Department PAD concept were given various inputs including hybrid in-calf heifers, pigs, goats, sheep, pineapple suckers, banana suckers, and beans as well as maize. Over 200 households have received the inputs which are multiplying, and in due course more inputs will be passed on to the community. Ms. Joan Kakwenzire, Senior Presidential Advisor in the Poverty Alleviation Department, PAD, who is also a lead farmer in Mwanyanjiri Model Village, explains more about this project in that area.
In this village, we responded to the President's call for prosperity for all, launched in 2006. I came here with a message, and I'm very happy the message is spreading, slowly but surely. You spread the message by first demonstrating to the people what prosperity through agriculture is all about. So 5 years ago, 2005, I set up a demonstration farm for the community. As we speak, some community members are doing even better than me. Basically, what I'm trying to show here is that if you do a mixture of enterprises, collectively you can earn the 20 million shillings His Excellency talks about.
As a lead farmer of Mwanyanjiri Model Farm, what do you have exactly that demonstrates to members of your community so that they are attracted to practice or follow what you are doing?
On my farm, I've chosen 3 enterprises, and I've added the 4th enterprise of value addition. I'm promoting dairy, piggery, and fruit growing, and then maize milling and technology transfer. The picture that is emerging is very encouraging because this area was a thick forest and infested with lots of tsetse flies and mosquitoes. I had to start with our local cows, Ankole cow, and cross them with exotic bull. The results are emerging. The farmers are emulating. As you can see, they are very excited.
And on Friday, 26 March 2010, the community of Mwanyanjiri Model Village hosted the South African First Lady Sizakeele Makumao Zuma, wife of the South African President Jacob Zuma. Mrs. Zuma had accompanied her husband on a 3-day working visit to Uganda. And on her 1-day working visit to Mwanyanjiri, the South African First Lady, Mrs. Zuma, was accompanied by Honorable Dorothy Hua, Minister without portfolio. And among the model farmers she visited included Atamba Farm for Ms. Joan Kakwenzire, Senior Presidential Advisor, who is the lead farmer of Mwanyanjiri Model Village, Mrs. Margaret Baleba, who is mainly dealing in poultry farming, and Mr. Kagwa, who is the LC1 chairman of Mwanyanjiri Model Village. Atamba Model Farm for Mrs. Joan Kakwenzire is composed of 16 acres of land, 2 of which have fruit trees, mainly mangoes and avocados. Half an acre has banana plantation and vegetables. The rest is reserved for cows.
Rainwater I also catch a lot of water in the rain there. This is the melon. It serves 10, it has 10 wives.
Is there anything how many wives?
10.
About 10, man.
Breed, they are called large white. They produce every 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. The piglets are left at home for proper. After 2 months, we remove them and take them.
After 3 months?
They are now 76 up there.
Oh, and you sell them when they're
4 months plus.
4 months
We are also blessed. This is the cheap way of harvesting water for rural Uganda. Water. This is 35,000 liters of water.
You use this cement-proof water, please?
I used a polythene bag. I dug out the soil, tailored the polythene paper, and lined the wall of the hole with the polythene paper. That make it cheap. Then the polythene paper stopped here. Then I did brickwork up here so that the soil from up there doesn't filtrate up fast. But if I built with cement, it would be very expensive. So I have the 35 liters, so these pigs can wash, drink, and labor cost is reduced. Manure processing. We mix the ash with powder, urine for pigs, and get the right ration. Remove the ammonia and so on. They are still working on it. It's a mix like it will be.
So when you turn once, it tries like 20 times down here.
We have a farm of young graduates, headed by young graduates. Long ago.
At Atamba Model Farm for Ms. Joan Kakwenzire, there are quite a number of activities done, like making energy stoves to reduce on firewood consumption, demonstration of how manure can be made locally out of cow dung and other animal waste, value addition, as she mentioned earlier on, as well as creating jobs for the people within her neighborhood.
They are graduates from Makerere University, graduates from Makerere University. So I invited them and gave them this poultry house to do their experiences, how to transport, how to impart technology using our materials, not imported. Our bricks, our sand, our soil, and our wood. This one is a mixer. Where are they? It has a handle. It has a handle. It's a mixer.
From Atamba farm of Miss Joan Kakwenzire, who is a lead farmer of Mwanyanjiri model village, the visiting South African First Lady, Mrs. Sizakeele Zuma, was taken to Mrs. Margaret Bareva's farm, another model farmer. Mrs. Bareva's ecstatic farm is just next to Atamba farm in the same locality.
Actually, ecstatic farm, we are doing quite a lot of things. We have got dairy cows, we've got piggery, we've got poultry. We have matoke, maize, sugarcane, we have cassava, we have jackfruit, and also we have got some sweet potatoes. What inspired me, okay, I grew up in a rural area, and still, when as a civil servant, I saw I was about to retire, and I started preparing my retirement. I didn't want to be like most civil servants who fear outside because they fear to go, they haven't started up something. But I started it just to help me to retire.
As Mrs. Bareva has just mentioned that she has a number of enterprises on her ecstatic model farm, the visiting South African First Lady, Mrs. Zuma, had an opportunity to see the poultry section that comprises of one-day-old chicks and the layers section.
And she has
because I started here, you can see the house I started with. Then this one, and this and the other one.
yeah, family house.
It's amazing.
From Mrs. Margaret Bareva's ecstatic model farm, Mrs. Zuma extended her tour of Mwanyanjiri model village when she visited Mr. and Mrs. Kagwa's model farm. Mr. Kagwa, who is an LC1 chairman of Mwanyanjiri, has a variety of crops and a banana plantation on his farm.
A bunch of banana here, we said just 10,000.
10,000, those are how many rums? $5.
And I've got 400 this time there.
Banana 400.
In her welcoming remarks to the visiting South African First Lady and her delegation, Mrs. Joan Kakwenzire was happy to say that Mrs. Zuma chose to visit Mwanyanjiri Model Village in a remote area to see how the people of that area are trying to develop themselves. She informed her that the Poverty Alleviation Initiative was developed to transform poor communities into self-sustaining entities and best practices of agriculture, market-led production, value addition, savings, and support to science and appropriate technology innovations.
Culture, value addition, and marketing. Fortunately for this country,